Most millionaires don't drive luxury cars. In fact, the average millionaire drives a used car that's at least 4 years old. Surprised? You should be. Because everything we're taught about money, how to earn it, spend it, save it, is quietly setting us up to fail. The real rules, the ones that actually build wealth, they're not taught in school, and they're rarely talked about out loud. But once you understand them, you'll never look at money or your financial future the same way again. Today, we're pulling back the curtain. We're going to talk about the 10 hidden rules of money that no one tells you, but absolutely should. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but still struggling to get ahead, this video is going to change how you think about wealth, income, and financial freedom. Let's get into it. Hidden rule number 1. Money doesn't flow to hard work, it flows to value. We've been told since childhood that if we just work hard, the money will follow. But here's the truth. The world doesn't pay you for effort. It pays you for results. It pays you for the value you create, not the sweat on your brow. You can work 80 hours a week digging ditches, but someone writing code for $1 billion software company working 20 hours a week might earn 100 times more than you. Why? Because they're creating leverage. They're building or contributing to systems that scale. Value is about solving problems. The bigger the problem you solve, the more value you bring, and the more you're paid. A heart surgeon doesn't earn 6 figures because they work harder than a janitor. They earn it because they're solving a high-stakes, specialized problem. And that's what the market rewards. And here's the catch. If you want to move up financially, you have to stop tying your income to time. That's what employees do. Wealthy people tie their income to results, systems, and scale. They build things, businesses, investments, brands that work for them even when they're sleeping. Think of money like water. It flows to where the most value is being created. And if you're just trading time for money, you're standing in a narrow stream while others are building dams, channels, and reservoirs. So yes, work ethic matters. But if it's not paired with strategy and value creation, it's like running on a treadmill expecting to arrive in a new city. You'll be exhausted, but you won't be wealthy. Hidden rule number 2. Your income can make you rich, but your habits keep you poor. Most people think that the key to financial freedom is earning more. And while yes, income plays a role, it's not the full story. The truth is, you can earn 6 figures and still be broke. Why? Because income doesn't guarantee wealth. Your habits do. We've all seen it. Someone lands a great job, gets a big raise, maybe even hits a bonus. And the next thing you know, they're upgrading everything. Their car, their apartment, their wardrobe. But their savings account, still starving. That's lifestyle creep. And it's one of the biggest silent killers of wealth. Wealth isn't what you earn, it's what you keep. It's the gap between your income and your expenses. You can make $60,000 a year and build a solid financial foundation, while someone making $200,000 a year can be drowning in debt if their habits are reckless. And this isn't just about budgeting or coupon clipping. It's about mindset. Wealthy people don't look at extra income as a chance to spend more. They see it as an opportunity to invest more, to grow their assets, to buy freedom. Your habits, daily, small, almost invisible, are compounding behind the scenes. Just like compound interest, they don't seem like much at first, but give it time. A habit of saving 10% of your income, or automating your investments, or saying no to that impulsive purchase, those stack up. And here's a powerful shift. Stop saying, I can't afford this, and start asking, how can I afford this without compromising my future? That question alone forces you to think differently, to make decisions that align with long-term wealth, not short-term pleasure. If you want to build real money, consistent habits will outperform occasional windfalls every single time. Hidden rule number 3, debt isn't the enemy, but ignorance about it is. Debt gets a bad rap. The moment we hear the word, we think of maxed out credit cards, student loans that never shrink, and the crushing weight of interest. But here's the twist. Debt itself isn't evil. In fact, the rich use debt as a wealth-building tool all the time. The real danger? Not understanding the type of debt you're dealing with, or how to use it. There are 2 kinds of debt: consumer debt and strategic debt. Consumer debt is the kind that drains you. It's buying stuff you can't afford with money. You don't have to impress people you don't even like. It depreciates fast and generates zero return. Think credit card balances from shopping sprees, car loans on flashy vehicles, or financing the latest iPhone when your current one works just fine. But strategic debt? That's a different story. That's when you borrow money to create more money, like using a loan to buy a cash-flowing rental property, or leveraging business credit to fund a venture that generates income. The wealthy use debt as a lever, a way to magnify their returns without always using their own capital. The problem is, most people are never taught this. We're handed credit cards in college without any education on interest rates. We're encouraged to borrow for degrees without knowing what kind of jobs will realistically pay them off. We're told to chase the dream with car notes and mortgages, but not how to evaluate whether that dream makes financial sense. Here's the mindset shift. Stop asking, "Can I afford the payments?" and start asking, "Is this debt making me money or costing me money?" That one question separates the people who get stuck in debt cycles from the ones who use debt to accelerate wealth. Ignorance about debt turns it into a trap, but education turns it into a tool. Use it wisely and it becomes a ladder instead of a cage. Hidden rule number 4, your network dictates your net worth more than you think. You've probably heard the phrase, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." But most people don't realize just how literal this is when it comes to money. Your financial habits, mindset, and even your income level are heavily influenced by the people around you, often without you even noticing. Think about it. If your friends constantly complain about how money is evil or how the system is rigged, you'll subconsciously start to believe that wealth is unattainable. If your family views debt as normal, you might never question whether there's a smarter way to manage money. Your environment shapes your financial reality more than you realize. Now let's flip it. If you spend time around people who invest, build businesses, and think long-term, guess what? You'll start picking up those habits too. Not because someone sits you down and teaches you, but because you absorb it naturally. Wealthy people aren't just lucky. They surround themselves with mentors, partners, and friends who push them to think bigger. Here's the hard truth. Sometimes leveling up financially means outgrowing certain relationships. It doesn't mean you cut people off cold, but it does mean being intentional about where you get your advice. If you're taking financial guidance from broke people, you're setting yourself up to stay broke. So how do you shift your circle if you don't know wealthy or ambitious people yet? Simple. Read books by successful entrepreneurs and investors. Listen to podcasts where money is discussed at a high level. Join online communities where people are having conversations about financial growth. Even if you don't have wealthy friends yet, you can immerse yourself in wealth-building ideas until those relationships naturally start forming. If you want to change your financial future, start by changing the conversations you engage in daily. Because the more you expose yourself to a wealth-building mindset, the harder it becomes to settle for anything less. Hidden rule number 5. Time is a more valuable currency than money. Here's a mind bender. Money is infinite. You can always make more. But time, once it's gone for good. And yet most people treat money like gold and time like loose change. That's completely backward. If you want to build wealth, and more importantly, freedom, you have to start seeing your time as your most precious asset. The wealthy don't just protect their money, they fiercely guard their time. They delegate, automate, and eliminate anything that doesn't align with their bigger vision. If something can be done by someone else at a lower cost than what their time is worth, they outsource it. Because every hour spent on low-leverage tasks is an hour stolen from building something bigger. Let's put it in perspective. If you make $50 an hour and you spend 3 hours figuring out how to save $20 on a flight, you just burned $150 of your time to save $20. That's not frugal. That's inefficient. Wealthy people play the long game. They ask, "What's the return on my time?" just as much as they ask, "What's the return on my investment?" This is why they invest early too, because compound interest is really just a way of buying time. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. Every day you delay investing, you're not just missing out on dollars. You're losing precious time that you'll never get back. It's also why they avoid things like excessive scrolling, binge watching, or constantly reacting to every message and email. They understand that every moment spent passively is a moment that could have been used creatively or strategically. Time, when used wisely, becomes the most powerful multiplier of wealth. So here's the shift. Stop asking, how can I save money? And start asking, how can I save time and use it better? Because when you master time, money naturally follows. Hidden rule number 6, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. Here's the cold reality. In money and in life, fairness isn't guaranteed. The market doesn't reward effort, it rewards strategy. That means if you're waiting around for someone to notice your worth and pay you accordingly, you might be waiting forever. Whether it's negotiating your salary, the price of a house, or even a business deal, the people who get ahead are the ones who know how to ask for more. Not aggressively, not arrogantly, but confidently and based on value. Take salary negotiations, for example. Most people accept the first offer because they're afraid of losing the opportunity. But employers expect negotiation. It's part of the process. And often, simply asking can land you 10 to 20% more. Not because you suddenly became more valuable, but because you showed you understand your worth. The same goes in business. Successful entrepreneurs don't just work harder, they negotiate better deals with suppliers, they push for better terms, and they structure partnerships where everyone wins, but they win more. And here's what no one tells you. Negotiating isn't just a skill, it's a mindset. It's believing you have something valuable to offer. It's realizing that every deal is flexible and almost nothing is set in stone. If you want to build wealth, you have to become comfortable with uncomfortable conversations. Because the difference between someone making $80,000 and someone making $120,000 often comes down to a single question. Is that the best you can do? Hidden rule number 7, inflation is a quiet thief that never stops stealing. Inflation doesn't make headlines until it's extreme. But make no mistake, it's always working in the background, silently eroding the value of your money. That $20 in your wallet, in 5 years it'll buy less, in 10, maybe a lot less. This is why simply saving money isn't enough. If your money isn't growing faster than inflation, you're actually losing purchasing power over time. It's like trying to run up a down escalator. If you're not moving fast enough, you're falling behind. The wealthy understand this. They don't just save, they invest. Because investing is the only way to outpace inflation consistently. Stocks, real estate, businesses, and even certain types of bonds. They're all tools that put your money to work, earning more money. Think about this. Your savings account might earn 1% interest, but if inflation is 3%, you're effectively losing 2% every year. That's not saving, that's shrinking. And it's not just about numbers. Inflation affects every aspect of life. Rent goes up, groceries cost more, your future retirement gets more expensive. It's the invisible hand squeezing your budget a little tighter each year. So if you want to stay ahead, you have to stop thinking like a saver and start thinking like an investor. Because the game isn't just about how much you earn, it's about how much your money earns when you're not watching. Hidden rule number 8. No one is coming to save you. Financial independence is DIY. This one's harsh but freeing. No one is coming to rescue you. Not the government, not your job, not your family, and definitely not the lottery. If you want financial security, you're going to have to build it yourself. Most people are taught to rely on systems, get a job, pay into Social Security, follow the rules, and everything will be fine. But look around. Pensions are disappearing, retirement ages are rising, and medical costs are through the roof. The old system is cracking. The people who thrive financially today are the ones who take ownership early. They learn how money works. They build multiple streams of income. They start investing, even if it's just a little. They don't wait for someone else to handle their future. They take control of it. This doesn't mean you have to become a millionaire overnight. It means realizing that you are the CEO of your financial life. Every choice you make, how you spend, save, earn, and invest, is a vote for the future you want. It's empowering, really, because once you stop waiting for permission, you start making progress. You start building systems that serve you instead of relying on systems that weren't built for you in the first place. No one is coming, but that's not bad news. That's your cue to take charge and win. Hidden rule number 9. Assets feed you, liabilities bleed you. It's a simple rule, but one of the most misunderstood. If you want to build lasting wealth, you have to know the difference between an asset and a liability and act accordingly. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. That's it. And no, it doesn't matter if a bank calls your house an asset on paper. If it's not generating income or appreciating in value, it's not helping your financial picture. So let's break it down. A rental property that cash flows every month, that's an asset. A car that loses value the second you drive it off the lot, that's a liability. A stock portfolio growing over time, asset. The latest gadget you finance because it looked cool, liability. The trick is to start stacking assets. And here's the beautiful part. Assets don't just grow your wealth, they give you freedom. They generate income whether you're working or not. And over time, that passive income can replace your active income entirely. The average person spends years working to buy liabilities. The wealthy spend years acquiring assets that eventually buy them everything else. So the next time you're about to spend, pause and ask yourself, is this feeding me or bleeding me? That one question can change your entire financial trajectory. Hidden rule number 10, taxes are your biggest expense, and the rich play a different game. Here's something schools rarely teach. Taxes will probably cost you more over your lifetime than anything else. More than your mortgage, more than your car, and definitely more than your Starbucks habit. But most people never take time to understand them, let alone optimize them. The wealthy, they treat taxes like a business strategy because they know one thing. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. This doesn't mean shady loopholes or tax evasion. It means using the legal incentives built into the system. For example, business owners can write off expenses, depreciate assets, and shift income more strategically. Investors benefit from lower capital gains rates, tax-free growth in Roth accounts, and things like 1031 exchanges in real estate. Meanwhile, employees with no deductions or planning pay the highest effective rates. It's not fair, but it is the game. And if you're not learning the rules, you're just donating more than you need to. The tax code at its core is a list of behaviors the government wants to reward. Create jobs, you get deductions. Build housing, you get incentives. Invest in the economy, you pay less than someone working a job. You don't need to be rich to benefit. You just need to be intentional. A good CPA, the right account types, and some basic education can shift thousands of dollars back into your pocket every year. Because at the end of the day, the IRS doesn't care how hard you work, only how smart you plan. Now that you've heard the 10 hidden rules, let's break it down into real-world steps. Things you can actually do today, this week, or this month to start shifting your financial game. Start tracking where your money goes automatically. Use a free app like Mint, MayCYNAB, or even a simple spreadsheet. Awareness is the first step toward control. Automate your financial system. Set up direct deposit rules. For example, 10% to investments, 10% to savings, and the rest to spending. The goal? Make good decisions automatic. Audit your circle. Look around. Who's helping you grow financially? Follow new voices, join wealth-focused communities online, or read one money-related book this month. Your network doesn't have to be physical to influence you. Build your freedom fund. Not just an emergency fund, but money set aside to buy you choices. Start with 1 month of expenses and build from there. Invest in learning about taxes. Even 1 hour with a tax-savvy accountant could save you hundreds, if not thousands, every year. Don't wait for April to think about taxes. Learn now, plan early. Calculate your hourly worth. Then ask yourself, are you spending hours doing things that are below that value? If so, can you delegate, automate, or eliminate them? Shift your mindset around debt. Don't panic, analyze. Is your debt consuming your income or helping you build more of it? Make a list, categorize it, and create a strategy to reduce the bad and possibly leverage the good. Every tip here is simple, doable, and builds momentum. And momentum is what changes everything. If this video opened your eyes, don't let the insight fade. Act on it. Pick one hidden rule that hit you hardest and take a step toward applying it today. And if you want more real talk on money, no fluff, no hype, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We drop deep, practical finance content every week that most people simply don't talk about. Also, share this with someone who needs to hear it. That one share could be the nudge that changes someone's financial future. Because remember, money isn't just about numbers. It's about choices, freedom, and power. And now you know the rules.